Hello everyone, and welcome to Selection Day. In fact, I didn't even know that it was Selection Day today. I've switched off my TV set. I haven't watched TV for over a decade now, but in recent years I've also turned off alternative media. I'm finding a lot of that to be just I don't know really. I'm wondering about a lot of the people who I'm seeing, and I do feel that there's a lot of people being placed in positions to test the temperature of the audience within the alternative media. And what I mean by that is, during the injectionable period where people were subjected to their homes and all of that sort of stuff, what I noticed was that some people would be on TV promoting that it was either real, you'd get a loony on BBC masked up and everything, saying that period of time was real and frightening, and then they'd be promoted by someone within the alternative media, and it seems to me that that loony person is on a quest of finding fame, and they've been given that opportunity, but they are also kind of being turned into, sort of there to more for the controllers to test whether people will forget those things, such as his promotion of a period of time that didn't exist, that you should have been scared of, but really shouldn't have been scared of. And then there's other people, the nurse doctor, John. I feel that he's been put in place to test the temperatures, to see who is kind of willing to just, forget about certain things that they promoted. And I really do feel that this is a testing moment, and I suspect that, as with many people, you see those videos where these celebrities say, oh, well, I wanted fortune, I wanted fame, so I sold my soul. I do wonder if that's happening, and that's happening within the alternative media. I absolutely haven't watched the alternative media for a couple of years now. I've felt absolutely betrayed by them. One of the things which really started to promote that was when I was going to a lot of the people in alternative media, asking them if they'd talk to me on their shows about what I'd been through. And I didn't get responses whatsoever. But what they were also saying on their videos was that they read all the comments, they read all their emails, and I thought, oh, okay, so they have read it, they just don't want to talk to me. They don't want to discuss this matter with their audience. And what was even more interesting was that many of those people in the alternative media, they did do interviews with other people, like the Looney Man and everything. So I found that to be really, really fascinating, and I did find it treacherous. I did find it as a betrayal, because I felt these people were genuine, and they were but I think that they are all within the club now. So and you see that kind of clickiness, so I tend to just sort of avoid all of the alternative media. So I didn't actually know that it was polling day today, or selection day today. So I don't know if anyone else is going out to vote at all. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you are. I certainly am not. I suppose you need to be bringing ID now. I think I think it's a selection, if I'm honest, and this is just a way of bringing people onto onto a database. And I don't know that they're going to do this whole mark of the beast thing that many people do think. My head is somewhere else. I'm open to listening to all that stuff. The mark of a beast, it's happening now, and whatever, coming from Christians. But I've had and I have to be honest, I've been a atheist for the majority of my life. So I actually looked into the Bible. I read it a couple of years ago, and the way I read it was not really in the way that other Christians are reading it. In fact, I read it in completely the opposite way, probably. And if we are in a period of prophecy within the Bible, then I would suggest that we are in the season of Satan, which is full of deceit. It's not about murder and all of that, although deceit can include murder, but it's more about being deceived. And I think that that's a period of time that we're in. And I've been looking into the Anglo-Saxons. This is on my other channel, which I'll show here. But I've been looking into the Anglo-Saxons mainly because I'm from an Anglo-Saxon heritage, I guess, as well as Celt. So from my understanding, from what I've been taught at school, the Anglo-Saxons lived in mud huts. So I wanted to have a look into all of this, and I've bought lots and lots of antique books from the early 1900s, 1800s and what have you. And that's not at all what I've learnt. In fact, I've actually learned that the Tudor buildings that you find in places like Shrewsbury and Chester are actually built by the Saxons. And if you think about it, why couldn't they be? I mean, if they've lasted since the claimed 1400s till now, then why couldn't they have lasted even longer? So I've been investigating into that, but this channel is absolutely hammered. Every time I upload a video, I get about 5 unsubscribes. And it could just be that people are unsubscribing, but I've also done a test to challenge that idea, and my own test shows that people are being unsubscribed from me, which is a shame. But what I will say is that because they're doing this to me, I'll just keep on uploading videos. At this point, they're not they demoralised me for many years during that court case, and it was very upsetting. It really had a very bad effect on me. Then also you have these phonies within the alternative media who aren't really in support of what they say they are in support of, and I don't trust them at all. So I'll just keep uploading just to keep getting the algorithms, just get keywords in there and test it all, see how I can mess around with it. But going off track there, because this is about polling day. I don't know if anyone else is going to be voting. I just feel that this whole world is an absolute deceitful world, and why would I waste my time? Why would I consent to incompetent authority over me? Or is it even incompetent? Is it incompetence, or is it intentional incompetence? I don't know, but I certainly don't trust in what it is. I have zero trust at this point. and we'll have to see. You know, I think that they have to crawl slowly into these sorts of positions. I haven't used social media particularly much, and I've been trying to figure out Twitter last night, and I've got to say, looking through Twitter, there were all these sort of posts that people were making. If you vote Labour, this is going to happen. You're going to be put in jail if you criticise this and that. And I just thought, well, I don't know that that would happen. Sometimes I think that these sorts of things that happen, that the media, alternative media, report on, are fake. They're just fake videos. And the reason why I think that is because they weren't willing to talk to me when they're talking about illegal immigration and all those sorts of things, and the assaults and all of that I went through, but they're not willing to talk to me about it, to confirm it to their viewers. No, there's something odd about that, I'm afraid. There really is. The only one who did that was Angry Foreigner, so thank you to him. Millennial Woes did some retweets for me, as did Pat Cornell. So they seem to be quite sincere. I mean, well, Angry Foreigner, yes. Pat Cornell, yes. I think that Millennial Woes is... I think what it is a lot of people in that sphere are very cliquey with each other. They've got their little groups and everything, and they don't want to be... You know, there might be this fear of being called a white knight or, you know, something like that. So they are... their actions are driven by what words they might be, you know, what insults they might face if they help people out. So obviously, Millennial Woes did help me out as well. So I don't mean anything like to suggest that he didn't do enough. He did. I'm just sort of talking about the circle that he's within. They do seem to be quite fearful of being called a white knight, from my opinion and my observations. So with that kind of fear, it was very kind of him to talk to me as well. But yeah, I think it's the circle, the fear of being called a white knight, that kind of circle. I don't really, and for that reason, maybe I don't trust the alternative media, because they are driven by their fears. Just as you see in today's normie world, you know, you see people, you wouldn't see someone put up a sign for being, you know, voting Tories or voting Reform, because people would fear having a brick through their window. That's why I know that we don't live in a democracy, because there is that risk that if you put up a sign for Tories or anything right wing, let's say, there are consequences, like quite violent ones, I would imagine, or, you know, just name calling. And this name calling, it must have happened before, because you used to have that saying, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. And there must have been a reason where adults got that from. And I think that this is the whole thing about democracy. It's all fake. It's all led by the fear of being called a name. And I think that's not just in the democracy realm, you know, the whole voting. I think that's in everything. What you report on, what you talk about, you know, do you fear being called a white knight and all of that? And I think these names, these insults, really do drive people's actions. And I think that's why I've decided that I'm going to why I've chosen to turn away from the sort of alternative media again, because I can see that they are driven by that fear of being called a name, and I can see that happens with the mainstream media. I find it disingenuous, I guess, and I don't find it to be a strength. So why bother following people? Why bother sort of trusting in people? Like I don't mind following them and seeing what they have to say, but I do roll my eyes when I see this whole, you know, fear of being called a name. And I'm not sort of saying that anyone in particular is like that. I just see the clicks and I see the sort of, I don't know, the sentiment within each of these sort of groups. And I just don't trust much of it anymore these days. So that's where I am. Anyway, I hope that you know, if you believe in the whole democracy thing, I hope you're happy with your votes and everything. And I hope that my little thing here hasn't been too depressing. Anyway, please like, subscribe and share if you feel like the same. If you feel skeptical towards the alternative media, then sort of panicked and, you know, are they good, are they not good, you know, tell me where you are with them, because I'm becoming increasingly skeptical of them. So like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye.